Joining me from Washington to discuss more about the Crown Prince's trip is Ali Shihabi, founder of the Arabia Foundation. Ali, thank you so much for coming on. How much is at stake, the Crown Prince's 7-day tour of the U.S.?
Well, it's a very important visit. First of all, following up on last year's visit by President Trump to Riyadh, very strong coordination with the administration on Iran. I think they're very much on the same page. But maybe even more importantly, it's, telling the American business community that Saudi Arabia is open for business. The Prince is going to be meeting leaders of American business, Michael Bloomberg in New York, Bill Gates in Seattle, the leaders of Google and Apple, leaders of the entertainment industry. Saudi Arabia has been investing in those industries, and those industries some of them are already investing, and the Crown Prince wants to encourage them to consider investing in the kingdom. So it's very much, I think, we are open for business and would like to talk to you about that sort of trip.
How much of an impact, if any, will the latest news that just came out today about Aramco's planned IPO, at least holding off on international listing for now, play into the Crown Prince's ambitious overall plans for the country going forward?
No, look, the idea of Aramco listing on the local exchange has been around, and frankly, a lot of knowledgeable people have been saying for the past 12 months that is going to be listed on the local exchange first. It makes a lot of sense to list it on the Saudi exchange. The Saudi exchange is the largest in the Middle East. Today, it's opening, fully to foreign investment. So the idea of a dual listing is something that was raised and, very much by lawyers and investment bankers who would have made a lot of money out of it. But I think the more people think about it, the more a local listing seems to be the primary objective. And then maybe at a secondary phase, if required, although in this day and age with electronic trading and with markets opening up, I'm not even sure that a secondary listing is required. And a secondary listing is very complicated, particularly if you do it in London or New York.
And aside from diversifying Saudi Arabia's business operations, clearly geopolitics is going to be front and center as well, especially with his one-on-one meeting with President Trump. President Trump and the Crown Prince are said to have very good relations. They get along. They see eye to eye on many issues. Iran in particular, the Crown Prince over the weekend likened the Ayatollah and to Hitler and the leadership in Iran to Hitler. What, if any, do you think can come out of the president's meeting with MBS?
What the Crown Prince was trying to explain to an American audience was that Iran is an expansionist state and that people had underestimated Iran, very much like people had underestimated Germany in the early 1930s. People have been downplaying Iran's expansionist objectives, but Iran today controls 4 Arab capitals. So as far as Saudi Arabia is concerned, this is an existential threat. It has to take it very seriously, and that's why Yemen also is very important, because Iran has been moving into Yemen and taking over Yemen through the Houthi organization in the north. But I think that generally, as far as Iran's expansionist behavior in the region, there's a meeting of minds with the U.S. administration, and this administration sees the threat very much the way Saudi Arabia sees it.
Is the Crown Prince's quagmire in Yemen right now his biggest weakness, in your opinion?
Well, it is not a quagmire in the sense that it is certainly on a public relations basis, it's been very damaging because somehow the public relations impact has fallen heavily on Saudi Arabia, even though it is not the only party responsible. And war, unfortunately, causes human suffering. But beyond that, in terms of troops lost or equipment lost or daily cost, it's not as big as people think it is. So I think it's much more sustainable for Saudi Arabia and its allies over the medium term than many observers think.
Ali Shihabi, thank you so much for your insights. It should be a very interesting tour.